Good morning, children. I hope you all are fine. Yesterday we have studied where fertilization occurs, what is implantation, how the process of implantation occurs, and then about gestation. Today, let us study about embryo development. So just recollect, where does fertilization occur in human? It occurs in the ampulla region. And you know very well that the gestation period in human being is of 9 months time. Total gestation period is 9 months time. This 9-month period has been divided into 3 trimesters of 3 months each. So first 3 months, first trimester, then 4 to 6 it is of second trimester, then 9 months, that is 7 to 9 months duration is of third trimester. So now let us pass on to what are the changes that occur during the first trimester. During first trimester, the embryo's heart is formed and the heart starts beating. By the end of second month, the fetus develops limbs and digits. Limbs and digits means it develops hands and legs with fingers and toes. And at the end of first trimester, it develops all the vital organs including the genital organ or reproductive organ. So during the first 3 months time, at the end of first month, heart is formed and it starts beating, and by the end of second month the fetus is developing limbs and digits. By the end of first trimester, all vital organs including reproductive organ or genital organs are formed. Now what changes occur during the second trimester? So normally the fetus is inside the womb or uterus of the mother in a fluid. The fluid is called the amniotic fluid. So during 5th month, the first movement of the fetus can be felt by the mother. During 5th month time, the fetus can easily move inside the amniotic fluid that is present in the uterus or womb of the mother. And at the end of second trimester, the body is covered by minute fine hair. At the end of second trimester, the entire body is covered with minute fine hair. Eyelids get separated and eyelashes are formed during the second trimester. But at the end of 9 months, the fetus is fully developed and it is ready for delivery. Now you can see in this picture, this is a 6-week fetus. You can very clearly see the limbs and digits and all the organs including the eyes and ear lobe you can see. So here you can just see the fingers as well as the toes, eyes, ear lobe, everything you can see it very clearly. That means all the vital organs are developed in the first trimester, and second trimester body will be covered with minute hair, eyelids get separated and eyelashes are also formed. So this picture you can very clearly see that during the 13th, this is the 28 days embryo, 32 days. So day wise it is given. This is about 54 days, 51 day, 50 days and 47 days. How gradually the embryo is growing. And again you can see this is the embryo of 7 months stage. So this is how the embryo development occur in case of human being. Now let us move on to parturition, or it is called as delivery or childbirth. Now at the end of the gestation period, a wild or a strong or a vigorous contraction of the uterus occur. This contraction expel the fetus out of the uterus. That phenomena is called as parturition. So at the end of gestation period, a strong contraction occur. You know that the middle layer is called myometrium, made up of muscle that undergoes contraction during parturition. So at the end of the gestation period, a vigorous or a wild or a strong contraction of the uterus results in the expulsion of the fetus out of the womb. That process is called as parturition. But this parturition is a neuroendocrine mechanism. It is a neuroendocrine mechanism. The fully developed fetus along with the placenta will send a neural signal, a nervous signal to the posterior pituitary gland. In your previous class, you have studied about anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. The other name for posterior pituitary is of neurohypophysis. Which hormone it secrete? It secrete oxytocin. Now, the fully developed fetus along with the placenta send a neural signal to the posterior pituitary gland of the mother. This causes a mild contraction of the uterus. This is called fetal ejection reflex. So at the end of gestation period, the fully developed fetus along with the placenta is sending a neural signal to the posterior pituitary gland of the mother that causes a mild contraction of the uterus called as fetal ejection reflex. Now this fetal ejection reflex will further induce the pituitary gland to secrete or to release more and more amount of a hormone called oxytocin. Just recollect, in your previous class under chemical control and coordination, you have studied the other name of oxytocin is birth hormone. Yes or no? You have studied. It is called as birth hormone because this hormone causes a wilder or a stronger contraction of the myometrium layer of uterus. This results in the expulsion of the baby out of the uterus of the mother or out of the uterus, and it comes out through the cervical canal, or it is called the birth canal. But after parturition, placenta also will be expelled out of the uterus. So once the fetal ejection reflex occurs, it induces the posterior pituitary gland of the mother to release more and more amount of which hormone? Oxytocin. So this causes a strong contraction of the myometrium of the uterus. Finally, the baby is expelled out through the birth canal. After parturition, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. So the entire process we call it as parturition. So the next important event is of lactation. You have studied mammary glands or the accessory gland system in a primate female. So these mammary glands undergo differentiation during pregnancy and it start producing milk towards the end of gestation period, and that process is called as lactation. At the end of the gestation period, mammary glands secrete milk. That process is called as lactation. This helps the mother to feed the newborn baby. The milk produced during the initial period of lactation is called colostrum. Okay, the name is called as colostrum. The milk produced during the initial stages of lactation is called colostrum, and always doctor recommends colostrum should be given to the newborn babies because it contains several antibodies. Antibodies are the protective proteins that are very essential for the newborn babies to develop resistance to different type of diseases, because the colostrum is rich in all different antibodies. What are antibodies? They are the protective proteins. So these antibodies will provide resistance to the newborn babies against different type of diseases. Another reason is it provide all the nutrients except vitamin C. So colostrum is very important. That is why doctors always recommend breastfeeding for the newborn infants. Now, how sex is determined in human being? This already you have studied in your 10th class. Anyhow, in case of human beings, we have 23 pairs of chromosome. First 22 pairs are called autosome. The 23rd pair is called the sex chromosome, or it is called allosome. So this is in case of a male, the sex chromosome is XY. So male is of heterogametic and the female is of homogametic in nature. Male is of heterogametic and the female is of homogametic, because in female only 2 X chromosomes are present. So when the gametes are formed, 50% of the sperm consists of X chromosome, other 50% sperms carry Y chromosome, but all the eggs are having only X chromosome. So the sperm carrying X chromosome, when it fertilizes the egg, the resultant baby is of female. But when the X carrying sperm fertilize the Y carrying sperm fertilize the egg, the resultant will be of male child, because 50% sperms carry X chromosome, other 50% carry Y chromosome. So when the sperm containing X chromosome fertilize the egg, the result is a female child. When the Y carrying sperm fertilize the egg, the resultant will be of male child. So it is always in human population, sex is determined by male, never by female. So with this, the lesson comes to an end. Read the lesson well. Tomorrow we will be solving MCQ questions. Thank you, children.